Welcome to my new video. Today we're going to discuss the important taxation benefits of doing business in the form of a company in India. If you're an entrepreneur or planning to start a business, understanding these tax advantages can save you a lot of money and help you make better financial decisions. So let's dive right in. Benefits of doing business in form of company with respect to taxation. Transfer of certain capital assets not treated as transfer for income tax purposes. For the purpose of income tax, sale, relinquishment, or extinguishment of rights in assets would be considered as transfer of assets. Certain transfers are specified that are not to be treated as transfer for income tax purposes. Transfer of capital asset by a parent company to its wholly owned Indian subsidiary. Transfer of capital asset by a wholly owned subsidiary company to its Indian holding company, provided conditions prescribed in this regard are satisfied. Transfer of capital asset in a scheme of amalgamation by amalgamating company to Indian amalgamated company. Transfer of capital asset in a scheme of merger by demerged company to Indian resulting company. Allotment of shares of Indian amalgamated company to the shareholders in the amalgamating company in lieu of their amalgamation. Deductions under income tax. 100% deduction towards donations made to prescribed funds, charitable institutions, etc. Section 80G. Deduction towards donations made for scientific research or rural development. Section 80GGA. Sum contributed to political party or electoral trust is allowed as deduction, subject to certain conditions. Section 80GGB. Undertaking engaged in developing, maintaining and operating any infrastructure facility, only Indian company, industrial parks, any undertaking, any power undertaking, reconstruction or revival of power generating plants Indian company shall be entitled to claim deduction, subject to certain conditions. Section 80IA. Deduction mentioned under Section 80IA to 80PA. Rate of tax on dividends received from certain companies. All dividends received by investors, shareholders from Indian companies are taxable in the hands of the recipient. Provisions of MAT are applicable to companies. The tax computed by applying 15% plus surcharge and cess as applicable on book profit is called MAT. Book profit means the net profit as shown in the profit and loss account for the year as increased and decreased by the sum items. As specified in Section 150 JAA. When any amount of tax is paid as MAT by the company, then it can claim the credit of such tax paid in accordance with the provision of Section 150 JAA. Tax rate reduced to 25% from 30%. The income tax rate stands reduced to 25%, plus applicable surcharge and cess, for domestic companies with total turnover or gross receipts not exceeding Rs 400 crores. Deduction on expense incurred in relation to setting up, extension of a business. Any expenditure incurred by a company for setting up of a business or for extension is eligible to be amortized and claimed as an expense over a period of 5 consecutive years, beginning from the year in which the business commenced, expansion of business is completed. This enables a company to defer the claim of expenditures incurred towards preparation of project report, feasibility report, legal charges for drafting agreements, incorporation fee, etc., over a period of 5 years. However, such claim shall be restricted to 5% of capital employed by the company. Further, any expenditure incurred by a company in course of amalgamation or demerger could also be amortized and claimed over a period of 5 consecutive years. Income tax rate to partnership firm and LLP for FY 2024-25, AY 2025-26. Partnership firm, including LLP, is taxable at 30%. Surcharge. The amount of income tax shall be increased by a surcharge at the rate of 12% of such tax, where total income exceeds 1 crore rupees. However, the surcharge shall be subject to marginal relief, where income exceeds 1 crore rupees, the total amount payable as income tax and surcharge shall not exceed total amount payable as income tax on total income of 1 crore rupees by more than the amount of income that exceeds 1 crore rupees. Health and education cess. The amount of income tax and the applicable surcharge shall be further increased by health and education cess, calculated at the rate of 4% of such income tax and surcharge income tax rate to local authority for FY 2024 to 25, AY 2025 to 26. The expression local authority means Panchayat as referred to in Clause D of Article 243 of the Constitution, or municipality as referred to in Clause E of Article 243p of the Constitution. Municipal committee and district board, legally entitled to, or entrusted by the government with, the control or management of a municipal or local fund. Or Cantonment Board as defined in section of the Cantonments Act, 1924, 2 of 1924. For more detailed information, visit the official website of VMK Professionals, www.vmkpros.com, and always review the latest amendments before execution, as laws keep changing frequently. Local authority is taxable at 30%. Surcharge. The amount of income tax shall be increased by a surcharge at the rate of 12% of such tax, where total income exceeds 1 crore rupees. However, the surcharge shall be subject to marginal relief, where income exceeds 1 crore rupees. The total amount payable as income tax and surcharge shall not exceed total amount payable as income tax on total income of 1 crore rupees by more than the amount of income that exceeds 1 crore rupees. Health and education cess. The amount of income tax and the applicable surcharge shall be further increased by health and education cess, calculated at the rate of 4% of such income tax and surcharge. Income tax rate to cooperative society for FY 2023-4, AY 2024-25, normal rates. Taxable income tax rate up to Rs 10,000%, Rs 10,000 to Rs 20,000, 20%, above Rs 20,000, 30%. Surcharge. It shall be charged at the following rates WEF AY 2023-24. To reduce the surcharge on cooperative societies from present 12% to 7% for those having total income of more than 1 crore and up to 10 crores. Range of income Rs 1 crore to Rs 10 crore. Above Rs 10 crore, surcharge rate 7-12%. Marginal relief is provided in cases of surcharge. Health and education cess. The amount of income tax and the applicable surcharge shall be further increased by health and education cess calculated at the rate of 4% of such income tax and surcharge. Special tax rates applicable to a cooperative society's taxable income tax rate. Any income 22% and indirect tax proposals. The FM has proposed in Budget 2024 to retain the same tax rates in respect of GST, import duty, etc. Indirect taxes as are applicable at present, i.e., existing GST and import duty rates shall continue in FY 2024-25 as well. That's all for this video. We hope you learned something new about the income tax benefits available to companies. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And let us know in the comments about your experience, or if you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you.